I want to talk about a position that your child might be using on a regular basis during play, when they're sitting on the floor, that might be further impairing their ability to independently toilet and have clean and dry underwear. It's not W sitting like you think it is. Let's find out what it is. So, how a child positions their body on a regular basis through play, through sitting in a classroom, through at home, playing on the floor, how their body is positioned on a regular basis sets their body up for success or more challenge related to toileting. That's because the pelvic floor is a group of muscles that is allowing the pee to escape, allowing the poop to escape. And then those muscles tighten up again after you're done toileting. And so that's how you stay clean and dry. You relax those muscles to let everything out, and then those muscles contract again to keep you clean and dry. Now, when you're seated in different ways often, that changes the muscles of your body. So think about it as a habit. As you continue to sit, maybe with one leg crossed over the other, for example, that is going to specifically tighten some muscles and relax and lengthen some others. There are positions that more or less affect toileting. So if you're sitting crisscross applesauce, that has like a pretty neutral effect in terms of how it can negatively affect the pelvic floor from functioning. However, let's cue into two positions that can greatly affect the pelvic floor. Number one is W sitting. Now, I mentioned at the beginning that we weren't going to talk about it, but it does need a little honorable mention because W sitting does change the position of the legs, which then affects the hips, which then affects the pelvic floor. And what then happens is the pelvic floor is changed in a way that it can become more difficult to fully relax and fully contract those muscles when they're on the toilet. So that means that the more your child does W sitting, the more likely it will be that they will have some type of toileting dysfunction. That means like relaxing all the way to let all of their pee and poop out. Now, that's not to say that every child that W sits has toileting dysfunction. It just means that that's one additional factor that applies to that child. If there are 5, 6, 7 different factors that affect pelvic health, that might be more likely to be a child that has some toileting dysfunction symptoms, ongoing challenges, wetting, that kind of thing. So that's W sitting. And W sitting can be corrected just by saying, put your feet in front, sit with your feet in front, sit with your feet crisscross applesauce. Adding variability is kind of the biggest thing that we recommend. Now, that's honorable mention. The biggest position that we see affect pelvic floor health and toileting dysfunction in children is called Vincent's curtsy. Vincent's curtsy is a true term. It's actually a name and in textbooks. And it's a position that kids use very often. It starts as a withholding mechanism. So one leg is tucked up underneath the bottom. The heel of the foot is often right at where the poop comes out, that anus. And what that does is it helps to put pressure into the pelvic floor, the perineal body, the anus, where poop and pee come out. And that pressure does two things. It shortens the muscles of the pelvic floor and it puts pressure to suppress any urges related to toileting. Now, there are two factors that this position is impacting. Number one, it has the physical change, the physical component of changing how the pelvic floor can function, the ability of the muscles to shorten or lengthen. And number two, that sensory component. So it is teaching your child's brain to stop thinking about that region of their body. Let's ignore it. Let's just put this blanket pressure on it at all times and only focus on that. And let's not focus on the urges that you might be feeling. And this can really catapult a child, especially, like I said, if there's other components playing a factor too, that further magnifies or increases the likelihood that your child might be to getting into some pelvic floor challenges long term, some symptoms, toileting dysfunction. And so we want to encourage you to encourage your child to sit in different positions. That this might not be the only thing that it needs to be put in place to help your child if they are experiencing pelvic floor dysfunction, toileting challenges, long-term potty training struggles, but this might be one less factor that is playing a role in your child's presentation. So that means that this could be one thing that you start doing now. It helps. You still need a little bit of help afterwards, but maybe the magnitude is less. Maybe their symptoms decrease. Maybe they start to initiate or have larger volume bowel movements. Um, we hope that this can propel you in the right direction. Might it be the full fix that your child needs? It might be. Might it be one component playing a role in their dysfunction? Probably. But that's why we're here. We would love to help you, to support you. If you have a child that needs some support with their toileting functioning, we would love to be part of your journey and provide whatever support would be best for them.
Hi, my name is Dr. Caitlin Keller, and I am the owner and lead physical therapist at Unconstipated Kids. And here at Unconstipated Kids, our mission is to help kids move through and graduate from the challenges related to toileting struggles. So things like constipation, nighttime bedwetting, belly pain, reflux for infants, any kind of challenges related to the gut and toileting, keeping their underwear clean and dry. I hope that today's video pushes you into the right direction to get a great jump start and to move towards full resolution for your child from the challenges they're experiencing.